How was your day today? Hello, we are Whyso, and welcome to the podcast series that often begins with why questions based on the first principle thinking method, offering you multifaceted perspectives on various issues in life for truly mindful living. Hopefully today's podcast will also untangle the knots in your heart. Let's begin. A mother pointed directly at her daughter, who was desperately trying to convince her to let her pursue the field of study she had always dreamed of. "Shut your mouth, you're worthless. You can't do anything right, so you have no right to speak in this house." Upon hearing this, the daughter could only cry. It was true. She was useless. She had always been like that, from childhood until now. Whatever she touched would break, even though she tried to be careful. She was clumsy and awkward, lacking any grace. Her mother had always called her a waste. She believed she was just scrap. Her teacher shook his head in disappointment and scolded the student, scratching his head at the blackboard, saying, "Oh, you seem like you have a mental disability. Your thinking is far worse than your peers. You won't pass high school and will have no future." The person who said these things may not remember them. Each word etched itself into the listener's heart, causing their emotional wounds to ache every time they recall them. Some people may never heal from such wounds, silently carrying them to the grave. The saddest thing is that people often speak carelessly to those closest to them, those who care about us the most, more than to strangers. Parents scold their children. Children speak harshly to their parents. Friends mock each other, and siblings show disdain. People are very good at putting themselves in the shoes of strangers, easily forgiving and understanding them. But with those we love, we let out bitter words. Parents use harsh language that kills their child's confidence, but still hope for their success. Friends make derogatory remarks about appearances and then brush it off as a joke. This is the paradox. Verbal abuse is hard to identify. The abuser can damage your self-esteem while simultaneously pretending to care deeply about you. Maybe the mother in the first story also endured childhood trauma, but didn't realize she was unintentionally passing it on to her child. Perhaps the teacher was just frustrated and didn't know how to lift the student's spirits. Maybe the father only feared the gossip and judgment from others, even though he deeply loved his son. Over time, the girl made her partner increasingly stressed. The pressures of work were already overwhelming. She couldn't understand what love truly was. So how could people who claim to love each other say such hurtful things? She always thought that for a couple to break up, something significant had to happen, like a third party or an incurable illness. But the truth is, it only takes carelessness, insecurity, disagreement, or fatigue for two people who once loved each other to become strangers. A heart full of scars can heal, but because of one sentence, it might stop beating. Words are like sharp knives. Chosen well, they heal. Chosen poorly, they cause harm. Even a casual remark, a thoughtless jab, or a careless judgment can shatter the hearts of one or many people. Words are like magic spells, and those who cast them are like wizards. All people are wizards, and we can cast spells on others or lift spells from them. Unlike physical violence, verbal violence does not leave visible scars on the skin. It doesn't leave marks on the flesh like ridged scars, but it still lingers in the spirit. It slowly enters the heart. It can bloom into a thriving tree if it's words of love, but it can also take root and drain all nutrients and life if it's bitter thoughtless words. The person who said those words may not remember. Each word embeds deeply in the listener's heart, causing pain every time they remember it. Some people may never heal from these wounds, silently carrying them to the end of their lives. The saddest thing is that people often carelessly say hurtful things to those closest to them, those who care about us more than strangers do. Parents scold their children, children speak harshly to their parents, friends mock each other, and siblings show disdain. People are very good at putting themselves in the shoes of strangers, easily forgiving and understanding them. But with those we love, we let out bitter words. Parents use harsh language that kills their child's confidence, but still hope for their success. That day, she felt a heavy heart. Look at yourself, you're just like your mother. You say you hate your mother's stubbornness, but you're no different from her. The girl didn't understand what love really was. So how could people who call themselves lovers say such hurtful things? She always thought that for a couple to break up, something significant had to happen, like a third party or an incurable illness. But in reality, carelessness, insecurity, disagreement, or fatigue is enough to turn two people who once loved each other into strangers. They are sowing negative energy, and they will certainly receive back what they have sent out. Ultimately, they're only hurting themselves. Your task now is to focus on studying, working hard to prove yourself. Outsiders won't care about the process you've gone through. They only look at the final results you achieve. This period will be really tough. But don't let yourself be hurt by trivial and undeserving things. No one has the right to hurt you unless you allow it. True education is using positive methods to help us grow, become more aware, and improve ourselves. After all, you've done your best not to regret anything. I believe that everyone needs to find peace and happiness in their soul. We should avoid saying negative words, not let ourselves be affected by others, not set unrealistic expectations to please everyone, and always try our best. Yet just one phrase, a few seconds, can kill you more than once. No matter how many stars, no matter how many lights, they can't light up the darkness. No amount of sorrow or tears of regret can revive a soul full of scars and wounds. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. I only hope we can be a little gentler with each other, a little kinder and more careful with our words, to love others and ourselves. To those who can hear me, don't be sad. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than power, we need patience and gentleness.